Riverdale is now about a lot more than it perhaps once was. Riverdale was a mobile home community, and by all accounts, by most of the folks I've talked to here, it was a community that was fairly well tightly knit, where people actually seemed to be concerned about each other's welfare and the welfare of one another's children. It certainly is a community of economically vulnerable people, so people who had good reason to rely on each other's goodwill.
I was doing some work with my friends who do a lot of stuff with the Occupy Wall Street campaign in Northeast Pennsylvania. We were invited to come here for a bit of a potluck and a meeting with the folks who lived here in Riverdale. As soon as we sort of arrived, we were just really compelled, not only by the atrocities of sort of the coercive corporate power that was coming into this space, but also by the resilience and the strength and the caring of this community, and you know, felt immediately, most of us felt really strongly, I think, that we needed to help however we could. And the community at that point was asking folks to come in and put their bodies on the line to stop construction here, and so that's what we did. This is a group of people who, you know, who are sort of a marginalized group of people who are working families on a fixed income, who are sort of often forgotten of in the traditional narrative of our country, and yet they had it within themselves to self-organize and fight back when something from the outside came into their home and told them it was no longer their home.
I came from Massachusetts, where I'm from, and although I go to school in Ohio, so I've been doing work with Ohio Fracking, which is an anti-fracking group in Ohio, since there are lots of injection wells and fracking wells that are being drilled right now. And I came because I was really inspired by the fact that this community was mobilizing itself to confront Aqua America, and I think I get really tired of going to these activist events where it's really just the same people there all the time, and it's not necessarily people who are directly affected. And I think it was really inspiring to me that these people whose land is they're really just unjustly getting evicted from their land are really protesting it, and I really want to stand in solidarity with them and help them, and with, you know, my presence in whatever way I can. So yeah, and I am very opposed to corporations stealing our rivers and poisoning our water and evicting people from their homes, and just every step in the fracking process is really corrupt. Like at school, I'm 5 miles away from a fracking well and like 15 away from an injection well, and you know, I've seen how they've affected people in Ohio, and like this is kind of the first step in the process, and so I'm just trying to do what I can to lend a hand. And yeah, but so we made the drive down once we heard about it because it sounded like a really special thing.
I live in Benton, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Berwick. They're both about an hour and a half away from here. Why I came to Riverdale? Because I felt like I had to be here. People's human rights are being violently betrayed and just sold. And I think that's a big problem in this country right now, and I don't know why you wouldn't be here to see, you know, 37 families who had a true sense of community. And being here and getting to know the residents, I've really come to understand that that's what is lost here, is it was a family, and they don't have that anymore. and how anybody could see that happen to another human being and not empathize and want to be here to fight with them blows my mind.
Well, pretty much what's going on is that I'm seeing a community of people who really, really, truly care about each other, being torn apart by an industry that is also tearing apart my community, but in a different way. I mean, Susquehanna County, we're dealing with the water pollution, we're dealing with the air pollution. Here we're dealing with all these emotions and stress from these people who are having a really hard time seeing their friends move away. Like this community was a family, and you know, these people took care of each other, and it's a different perspective that I'm having on the industry, but it's also a bad one. And so I'm killing two birds with one stone here. I want to help this community, and I want to help my community. Let's see, there are people who have been tweeting. My job is to more or less handle the website, connect it to Twitter, make sure that people can get to our Facebook page, make sure that there are pictures being uploaded constantly, so there's a constant stream of information coming from here. It's been interesting because our internet connection isn't super great, so there's really just 5 people that can get online at a time, but we're kind of like trying to make that work. And there are people putting pictures on Flickr, and so we have a giant picture pool that we're drawing from to send the best pictures to media. There are people who are sitting there and just listing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of media contacts and then contacting them. It's a big operation. My job is really just the website right now. The website is www.saveriverdale.com, and there is a big donate button on it. We need people and we need money.
Yeah, we got the social media. It's not so dependent on like the big corporations or the big media to like put our word out. We can make our own videos and put them online and circulate them through the networks that are already there of activists and let them spread it. And it's contagious. It'll get everywhere, you know. I mean, it helps to have big media here because then it becomes a national issue. It's not just like the subculture of activism. But yeah, I think it's super important that we can put all this out and that people can see how we live on a daily basis. People can see how good we eat and how much fun we have, and it could be real time, you know, have the live stream show what's happening now and not have to wait till tomorrow to see what happened today. I guess many things bring me to Riverdale. It's an intersection of several different struggles. One would be fracking and like the environmental destruction that it causes. Another one would be housing rights, just housing. People need places to live, and capitalism is encroaching on people's living situations. So it makes more sense to sell this off and make a bunch of money and drain the river than it does to like keep people in their home, in their community. I've been here since Thursday. I was gonna only stay one day, but then I really liked what was happening, and I thought it was a worthy struggle.
Riverdale right now is the center of the universe with respect to where the environment meets social justice.
Riverdale, to me, is about supporting a community that's fighting back, and doing so with the love of their neighbors in their hearts.
Riverdale is an example of collective human power.
Riverdale is beautiful. It's what community was supposed to be. And now Riverdale is heartbreaking.